Councillor Allan, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I rise once again to offer a very cautious and very tepid welcome to this scheme. It's welcome because it takes slightly further the many steps that the Lib Dems have already taken to ensure greater public accessibility to the Council. But it's tepid because this is the last of a dismal procession of half-baked half-measures to breathe life into local democracy by the late Labour government by doing everything except what it really was going to take, which is, of course, proportional representation. Now, the party opposite is an excellent example of how poorly local democracy works in representing the people of Islington. So please don't think you have a mandate from the people of Islington. On the contrary, please don't think that it's because of the excellence of your group that you were returned in such numbers. Was it perhaps the retiring modesty of Councillor Convery, the spellbinding oratory of Councillor O'Sullivan, the brilliant puns of Wally Burgess, and I thank him for his most recent example, the pidgin Chinese that Councillor West gives us from time to time? No, we know that you are seen as mouthpieces of the unions. And we know that because the unions tell us so. They tell us that for the local elections on the 6th of May, we are urged by a well-known GMB branch secretary to ensure that Gary Doolan and other Labour candidates get elected so that the voice of the GMB can be heard loud and clear in the council chamber. So we know what you are, and we know that this is not what the people of Islington want. We know that petitions have their place, but it's how typical of a Labour government to set down in minute detail what petitions are, how they are to be dealt with, and whether the Council already has good and existing measures for them or not. The scheme is riddled with meaningful distinctions undermined by vague definitions, such as what affects more than one ward or two wards. Some you need 8,000 signatures for, and some you need only 500. And if you get 8,000 signatures, you get a debate in the council chamber, and the proposer, the organiser of the motion, of the petition, gets one more minute than if he or she had had 6 signatures from a single ward. So then you get a possibility of an appeal to the overview committee. So on this side of the chamber, we are in no doubt that democracy will be renewed when and only when true democracy arrives.
Councillor Allan, the time is over.
And not when this silly measure takes effect.
Thank you. Councillor Doolan, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to raise a point of clarification, for the brilliant speech of Bertie Allan over there. It was not my members who got me elected in St Peter's ward. It was the local electorate, the people I represent within the ward, not within my trade union. However, as another point of information, what I will add, they may have had some decision in the removal of Steve Hitchens as the ex-leader of the council.
Funny how it all ends up with the right of reply. Again, this is a motion which I wanted to move because it isn't actually earth-shattering. It isn't going to change the way we run local government. It is a small step at opening up transparency. George, you say that why should the Labour government have set down in such detail how we should handle petitions? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it took us, on an Islington basis, 3 years to find out what happened to the petitions we handed into this council. We finally pushed a procedure through, but put it this way, you weren't rushing to do it yourselves. I'm sorry to hear your... I'm afraid your quote about us not having a mandate, does remind me about my favourite quote, which is Bertolt Brecht after the 1953 uprising in East Germany, when Brett said, the Secretary of the Writers' Union has said that the people are not worthy of the Central Committee. I suggest that the Central Committee should dissolve the people and elect another one. And the problem with democracy is that sometimes parties change office. We are here and we are determined to run the council better. Obviously, it was your shy, pithy humility that got you elected. It was obviously Councillor Graves' intimate knowledge of the borough where he's lived for about 24 hours, and you asked us, Councillor Graves asked us, why on earth we wanted to debate something when we were in charge. Well, I think you know why. Listen to the speeches we heard from new councillors on this council. Listen to what is coming from new, young Islington. I'm a bit old about this, but I tell you, I'm bucked about what I've heard tonight. The future is here. It's sitting on the Labour benches. So, when small changes are made, you are going to find, I think, the cloud to put round every silver lining. This isn't earth-shattering, it's a small improvement, and I'm really sorry that you're so curmudgeonly about moving slightly in the direction of opening up the way the council works.